Greg, one of the co-founders of the company online, my colleague George.
Good morning.
A couple of people. Thank you for taking time to do this introduction this morning.
Yep.
I want you to know I love your name. There's a lot of things in names with me. I've got no E in mine. My dad left the E out, so it's Pamela.
Oh.
But you're Charlie Brown, and I love that you use Chaz.
Yep.
It's great. We've got something in common there with the name thing.
Yeah.
So I thought I would give you just a real quick overview, but before I do, of the enterprise, the Didago enterprise, before I do, let me say that we meet with a lot of people. Do these little introductory overviews, and they are not to be not to be misconstrued as a sales push, because they're not. They truly are exactly what I promised you, an introduction to who we are, a little get to know you, and a discussion about cybersecurity and why it is so critical right now. Because we are very careful about who we interact with and who we engage with and who we claim we can help. Because when we claim we can help and we agree with that party that there's a good fit, we are committed to the nines. So we take our time about that. And we encourage you to do the same.
Okay.
And I'd like to know just a little bit about you before I just go on and blah, blah, blah about who we are. So you have been with the company for how long? With Didago?
Almost 22 years.
22 years, wow. Okay, as CIO. Not all that time as CIO, I guess. You probably grew with the firm as well?
Yeah, I mean, I have 20 computers here, that's it. So, I mean, we don't have a lot of need for cybersecurity. We have maybe a little bit, but anyways.
Okay, so you've got 20 endpoints that you're guarding. Okay, good to know. And here's who we are. The Reese brothers started an MSP in 1990, developed an incredibly strong client base of companies that just would not do it without them. And they, from there, went to purchase some rural hospitals. And in the course of that, found out how inefficient the market was. There was simply nothing to track HIPAA and compliance matters in cybersecurity. And if there's ever an industry that needs that, it's the medical industry.
Right.
And when they had built that mechanism for that industry, they realized it could be leveraged and should become a benefit to companies of all industries, and thus the Didago. So the Reese Brothers enterprise is Reboot, HIPAA and Didago, with full focus, and I would say probably 80% of our energy now, on Didago 365, because it's what the market demands, what it needs at this time. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So as I looked at who you are and what you do, this was kind of the overview. Is that about right?
Yep. Yep. We sell medical equipment.
Okay. When you say you do that with 20 computers, a little bit about your organization, just how you roll?
Well, I mean, currently we're just, I can't think of the name of the one thing we use, but yeah, we pretty much just have inside and outside salesmen that sell to hospitals, you know, medical doctors, things like that.
Okay.
So
you're selling to hospitals all your equipment.
Yep.
And the equipment is manufactured elsewhere, so you are literally the middleman, you're the distributor of that equipment?
Correct, and then we also do we have our own biomeds, so we do a lot of refurbishing and fixing of equipment, so.
Okay. Okay, good enough. We're curious about your experience with cybercrime.
Okay.
When you say we don't really need much cybersecurity, I can tell you've never been in a data breach.
No.
So you've never had that experience, because if you had it, you wouldn't say that.
Right.
that would not be your position. You would be running away from it like a nightmare.
So, I mean, kind of how we deal with it is, so we run, well, we used to run QuickBooks, now we run E2, which is a cloud-based system. And we do not allow any type of credit cards or anything like that to be put into it. So I don't have that worry.
No, you don't. You're right.
The biggest thing we have is, I mean, we have some, our data as far as sales and, some customer information, but that's about it. But, I mean, you still don't want that giving out, but like I said, it's all on cloud basis, and I believe our cloud people take care of all that. So,
well, and that's a little bit of a misnomer. I mean, yes, they do, but cyber criminals went in, they get in.
Yeah.
And so
I understand how it works. My biggest issues here is, obviously users. You always have that risk.
You are absolutely right. You beat me to the punch. 90% of breach is caused by those people that inadvertently leave the back door open.
Yeah.
Or hit on click on an attachment they shouldn't have.
Yeah, we just had that happen a couple weeks ago where a gentleman, fortunately it wasn't with the company, it was his own personal PayPal account. So,
right.
People just, they don't think before they start talking to other people on the phone.
Gotcha. That's big. So you do understand that 90% of your problems, if not a little bit more, are your own people.
Yeah.
Are you doing any training right now?
Obviously I pulled them all aside and I've explained to them. Our biggest problem right now is the spoofing is just crazy right now. For some reason, someone has decided to spoof all of our emails. And,
we call it phishing.
And then somehow, like 2 months back, somebody actually, I don't know how they did it, and I don't know whether it had to do with, it probably had something to do with Facebook, because we also have a Facebook, and we have all that stuff, and they ended up emailing one of our customers who then sent them money.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's been a...
So you're having your share of breach.
Yeah, but then again, it's all our users or our customers who are creating a problem. Nobody's actually ever been able to get into my system. So.
Okay. Well, you're skirting on the edge of it. You don't know at what point they're going to try to seize the operations or extend a ransom note. You just don't know. I guess the question is, how long could you all afford to be down and still keep your company running?
Well, so we have had this happen, but it's been a long, long time ago. The actual owner, like I said, users are usually my problem, clicked on something he shouldn't have, and we ended up getting he ended up getting his entire computer encrypted. However, I keep everything back up, and it was as simple as reinstalling Windows and putting all the stuff back on. So, I mean, I kind of have that part of it covered, but you just...
Man, you've been lucky. I'll tell you what, you've been lucky so far. You know this, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know you're living right and you've got like a guardian angel or something, because that is not necessarily how the scenario goes.
Yeah.
So you have today been really, really lucky.
A lot of it I contribute to, we use Norton Enterprise, and I tend to keep that very updated and stuff, so.
Which one? I'm sorry, what enterprise?
It's a semantic enterprise.
Uh-huh.
So.
Okay. Good. Yeah, that's not always, when I'm saying that doesn't always go that way.
Right, no, I know.
Like they will encrypt your backups, and then it doesn't matter that you've taken backups. They explode a virus 2 months later, and there you go. So you've been lucky today. You have. It's good. When technology malfunctions, who do you call? Are you doing it all yourselves internally, or?
Yep. Yeah, we use Office 365, and it's pretty much just all internal type of stuff and cloud-based. It's pretty much all I've gotten around most of the stuff.
How many of there are you? Is it you and how many others?
I think I have, like 20 users on Microsoft 365.
No, I mean, is there anybody but you doing
No,
what you're doing?
just me.
Just you.
Just me for 22 years.
You're the lone ranger. Okay. Well, you might have met us at a good time because we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. So when you go into management meetings, do you discuss these things as a management team, these questions that are on the screen now? How many days could we afford the technology-driven work to be inaccessible? What would we write a check for if we were ransomed? How highly should we prioritize a data and operational risk security program? What compliances would nail us if we couldn't be tracking those? And do you discuss those things?
Not really. We have maybe once or twice. So, I mean, it's, like I said, I just haven't had that many problems. My biggest thing is the compliance and regulatory things I'm not real familiar with for our company. So.
Okay. That's different from industry to industry.
Yeah. I mean, we're a sales company, so, I mean, we do have some. We have addresses and name of customers, but we don't keep any, other data other than that on them whatsoever on premises.
If you're distributing other people's equipment, then some of those compliances and standards reside with the actual manufacturer of the equipment.
Right.
So
Right.
I would assume that you are off the hook for most of that.
Correct.
Okay. Very good. So, if you haven't had any experience with breach, these are construction companies and construction manufacturing about the same kind of position. This first one, DPR, and for universities and hospitals, is talking about how cybersecurity is viewed as slowing operations or high overhead costs versus perceived return. I'm sure you've heard those things from your manager, potentially. And he ends up, Eduardo ends up saying, unfortunately, it's taken serious incidents for firms to understand the threat. You don't want that to be the case. You don't want that to be the thing that brings you back around is, well, I never had any problems for 22 years. But boy, this one just put us under.
Right.
So it's good that you're aware that these things are going on, and maybe we need to take them a little more seriously, like what one more thing or two more things or three more things could we do as an organization to make ourselves completely secure so that we never have an incident.
Right.
Because you just don't want to experience that. I'm so glad you never had to, but you really don't want to, because it will bring the greatest men to weep.
Right.
It's what they built their life's work on, and you've got, I don't know how many people relying on you for their livelihood, and all of a sudden you come in and it's seized one day. Warful, same thing. Don't think GCs and CMs are worried enough about the impact. There's just a lack of understanding or realization it can happen to us. That's a Phil Weaver quote. And then John Bowler, the same thing. Too often not technical enough to really see how many holes there are in the dike. And I think that is true because when you've never had a breach, you just don't really understand how many problems are out there to happen. And one of the things that we use that has changed the whole game up in this fight on cybercrime is artificial intelligence, which uses behavioral technology and not just the old antivirus approach. Because those techniques aren't working anymore. Not against the big cybercrime syndicates. It's just not. They are able to do things that you have never imagined, that none of us have imagined, where they can implode, plant a virus and it implodes later. And some of the biggest companies, SolarWinds, just got taken down. I'm sure you saw that in the news.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the biggest. When they can get breached, how long do you think it's going to be before other companies end up having those same problems. So we're trying to circumvent all of that, and we absolutely believe in the importance of a disaster recovery plan. You have to have one. But what we do is we make sure you never have to pull it off the shelf. Take the notebook down, go through the steps. You'll never have to do disaster recovery when you use artificial intelligence, because the behavioral approach to detecting something coming helps you stop the breach before it actually causes any real harm. That's probably, and it's 24/7. It's manned by career cyber specialists, which is a different degree than IT. It's its full-blown bailiwick, and it's a combination of tools and techniques, and then the experience that goes along with it of being able to identify what's happening well before it blows up in your face. And so that is monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We take, against NIST standards, what most companies are operating at, which is maybe a 1, if they're lucky, or a 2. We move them up to a 3. So we increase the maturity level of your cybersecurity standing. What the organization is able to achieve in those 5 core areas of identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. So you've performed at a NIST level 3 after we've worked with a company for a short while. Regulatory compliance, again, there was not a lot of that in your case. Program managers for each customer are designated so documentation can be produced and presented every month or every quarter, depending on what we decide protocol-wise. And then the very thing that you let out with, Chaz, about knowing that 90% of your problems are people, your own people, we do what's called a human firewall. We help you create your human firewall, and we do it in a unique way with great training that engages them and that gives them some ownership so that they can articulate what's going on. They understand their role and the role your cybersecurity policies play in protecting the company's information assets. So that's kind of who we are in the package of what we do, and why all those pieces are important is simply because the game has gotten out of control.
Yeah.
The cybercrime game's out of control. Do you have any questions about any of those pieces of the...
Nope, I understand.
Okay, very good. What do you think you need if you were going to have somebody help you to help management understand how dire cybersecurity or cybercrime is at this juncture, and the importance of making some new, maybe, decisions about cybersecurity? What would you need to support that? We do a lot of that. We support all the IT people in all the companies we work with their cybersecurity, and most of the, or a lot of the support goes to being your backup to say some of the same things but in a different way to management to get their attention, because we're aware that you know what's going on, and you probably aired these things at some point. And as long as there's no real problem, you've never had a huge breach,
Right.
they will blow it off, because who wants to spend money you don't have to spend, right?
Right.
So
Well, as far as talking to upper management, I don't really have to worry about that. A new CEO just started with us like 2 years ago, and he actually worked for a company that does what you do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what company was that, can we ask?
I can't remember. It was based out of Texas, but I can't remember which one it was. But yeah.
So he's very in tune with cybercrime?
Yeah.
So I'm surprised, if that's the case. Does he just not feel there's any real need?
Not at this time. I mean, like I said, we're a very small company. We've done everything so that everything's kind of out of our purview. I don't run a server here. We're not responsible for any of the data, really. Besides having to back up people's computers for personal things they may have saved on their computer, which they shouldn't be doing anyways.
But they are.
Yeah. Besides that, that's really the only thing that.
Sounds like you're relying on the cloud heavily.
Yes.
Which is a little dicey.
Yeah.
I guess what I would say to him is, you may be small and you may not feel the need right now, but it could also be smart to be way ahead of your game, and go ahead and cyber secure now before you grow, and do it with a good partner.
Right.
And so that's sort of the direction I might go with him, particularly when he understands the importance of it. Most of the challenge is that if he's been in the industry, he knows how ridiculously priced it can be.
Yeah.
It is by most companies. We have a unique model here because the Reese brothers decided that it would be pretty insane to make a service that everybody needs cost ineffective.
Right.
I mean, why would you put out of reach of everyone who needs it a service like this?
Right.
So they have spent years perfecting a model that would allow them to make the profit they need to make to be a strong vendor partner. At the same time, it's absolutely affordable for our customers.
Okay.
And they have cracked the code on that. So we're talking about endpoint price of somewhere between $15 to $20 an endpoint for everything, all inclusive. All the things you see on this page in front of you. All the training, a program manager for each customer. These are round figures I'm giving you, but that's a whole lot different than what your boss, the former the CEO currently, that formerly for a company like that, that's completely different than what he's used to hearing, because endpoints could be as much as $50 an endpoint and have been and are in some industries, and it's ridiculous. It doesn't need to be like that. So we found a good model for that. But at any rate, do you have any questions for me? Was this a good overview in your estimation?
Yeah. That's a good overview.
Would you like to think about what we talked about, and while we're all on here, and we could go ahead and set up a second meeting? Could we do that and do like a follow-up to this, and I will send you some things to think about post-meeting, and let us chew on it too, to see if there's anything that we want to share with you in the way of advice. I'm going to send you the questions that we suggested management discuss, so you can take those to a management meeting if you care to.
Okay.
And we'll discuss it among ourselves. If there's any way that we feel in a company of your size and with your configuration and what we know about you now, your CEO is an ex-cyber guy.
Yep.
What our approach should be, what our next step should be if we have one. And let's just do a very short meeting this next time to talk about what a next step might be.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
That's fine.
When can you do this? Do you want to try a week from today or something like that?
Let's see. Probably in a couple weeks.
2 weeks out?
Yeah.
So we're talking about Tuesday the 16th?
That'll work.
I will send an invite as soon as we hang up. Should we go for 10 a.m. again? We're able to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Excellent.
All right.
I will send you an email, my friend, and we will go from there. But thank you for your time today. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
All right.
Don't hesitate to reach out if you do want to discuss something or something comes up between now and then.
Okay.
What I send to you. Okay, Chaz?
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Take care. Bye for now.